We will aim to prepare a pasta dish that we might call creamy, which could become the main attraction and might be the most favorable part of the meal. We plan to serve it alongside a baked chicken milanesa for a well-rounded, satisfying dish. For the creamy pasta, we will need the following ingredients. Number one, we shall use 2 bags of screwed spade pasta, each containing 400 grams. This ought to be enough to serve everyone generous. We made 200 grams of tomato for a rich February bites. The tomato part could help balance the cream paste. We could include shells for quesadilla. I think as much as desired to achieve the right level of chains and melt. This should make the pasta wonderfully creamy and savory. We will add 2 tablespoons of canned chipotle to bring in a bite of spice, which should give the dish a slight kill and complement the cream's nicely. We may use 50 milliliters of cream to enhance the richness and smoothness of the sauce, blending and the flavors together. As for the chicken milanesa, we will only the chicken breast fillets. To break them, we might choose a simple yet favorite mix of salt with garlic and breadcrumbs. This shows create a crispy golden crust that will pair well with the creamy pasta. Once everything is prepared, we will be ready to serve. It's a delicious, comforting meal featuring but creamy pasta and breaded chicken milanesa, perfect for a cozy dinner.
Step 1. We'll begin with boiling a large pot of water. We may need to add a pinch of salt to the water, and this should help to enhance the flavor to the pasta itself. We should keep an eye on the water and wait until we see bottoms rapidly rising to the surface. This will mean that the water has rolling boiled. Once we are sure that the water is boiling, we can add the pasta carefully. We may want to stir it gently to ensure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. After adding the pasta, we will need to let it cooking for approximately 10 minutes, although it may require checking in between to confirm it is all cooked to the perfect texture. Once it's ready, we will drain in the pasta in a colander, allowing all the water to run off completely to remove any remaining water. Step 2. We're preparing our pan. We should choose a large, dipping pan that will allow us to mix the pasta with the sauces later. We will place the pan of medium heat and add a dangerous amount of butter. We should melt and cook the bottom of the pan. We may wait a few moments until the bottom is falling and starting to add the ingredients. Step 3. We'll focus on adding extra flavor and aroma to the sauce. First, we will need to finally half a white onion and small and squares. A fan should allow to the onion to blend into the sauce and infiltrate the other ingredients. Once the button is melted, we can add these diced onion to the pan, spreading it out so it cooks well. We may need to stir the onion occasionally, and this will help preventing it from burning. We should wait until the onion turns a rich golden color and ready for the next ingredients. At this stage, we will add the tomato puree to the pan. The puree will bring a balanced satiety that should complete the creamy elements to the sauce. Once the tomato potato is well incorporated, we'll carefully add a touch of chipotle. We'll consider tasting the sauce, and it's point to see if more chipotle liquid might be needed to achieve the perfect level of praise to the sauce. After all the ingredients will come together into the pan, we will give the sauce a final stir to ensure everything is well mixed. This will allow all the flavors to perfect, creating a sauce as it reaches. The sauce should be ready to combine with the pasta, creating the creamy. Following the steps, we should end up with a beautiful balanced pasta dish will dip, satisfying flavors and creamy texture, perfectly completed by the breading chicken milanesa.
The next step will be to add the necessary amount of cream to the sauce. We might want to measure the cream carefully before adding it to avoid making the sauce too thick or too thin. The cream should provide a smooth texture and add richness to the dish, and changing the flavor of the tomato puree and chipotle. As we add it, we may need to stir the mixture slowly and continuously to ensure the cream blends completely with the other ingredients without curdling. We should be careful to keep the heat at a medium-low level so the cream does not burn or separate, as that could affect the final texture of the sauce. Once cream is well incorporated into the sauce, we will proceed to add the pasta that we previously cooked and drain it. We might want to add the pasta gradually, mixing it gently with the sauce to make sure it's fully coated and that each piece of pasta absorbs the flavor of the mixture. This step will help us achieve a well-seasoned pasta with an even taste. We may also need to add a small amount of water to mixture. This could be necessary to adjust the consistency of the sauce, preventing it from becoming too thick and allowing it to coat the pasta smoothly without clogging. We should keep in mind that all the water and help thin out the sauce. We should add it gradually to avoid diluting the flavors. We might add the water in small amounts, stirring well after each addition to check the consistency. As the mixture heats up, we'll watch closely until it begins to smother gently. This smearing indicates that all the ingredients are fully integrated and that the pasta has absorbed the flavor of the sauce. Once we notice that the sauce is gently simmering, we can add the quesadilla cheese. We may wish to crumble it or cut into small pieces so it melts more easily in the hot sauce. The quesadilla cheese should contribute a creamy, melted texture which will enhance the overall creaminess of the dish. After adding the cheese, we'll cover the pan with a well-filled lid. This will allow the steam to accumulate inside, generating the heat needed to melt the cheese completely and blend it with the cream and tomato sauce. We might wait a few minutes, allowing the heat and steam to the work or melting the cheese evenly without needing to stir. It's important to keep the pan covered so the steam doesn't escape, as that goes slow down the melting process. After a few minutes, we'll be able to remove the lid carefully and check if the cheese has melted evenly into the mixture. We should observe a thick and creamy sauce, with the cheese fully melted and covering each piece of pasta. At this point, we can give it a final gently stir to ensure everything is well combined. This process will allow us to achieve a cream pasta with a smooth texture and balanced flavor. The combination of cream, tomato, chipotle, and melted cheese should have created a rich and involving sauce, perfect to accompany the breaded chicken, milanesa, and provide a complete, satisfying flavor experience.
To prepare the milanesa, we need to heat a pan with enough oil, making sure it covers the bottom so the milanesa can cook evenly. We might use mild oil like vegetable oil, which should give a nice golden color without changing the flavor of the milanesa.
We must wait until the oil is hot enough, as all that's too cold might make the milanesa soak up too much and turn greasy. While oil that's too hot cold burn the coating before the meat is fully cooked. While the oil is heating, we can start cooking the milanesa. First, we may want to season the meat lightly with garlic, salt for extra flavor, making sure to cover both sides. The garlic salt should add a bit of seasoning without overpowering the meat, allowing the braiding to balance the flavor. Then we'll cover the milanesa with breadcrumbs, pressing gently to make sure they stick and form a crunchy layer. We might repeat this step if we want a thicker, crispier coating, as this should improve the final texture. When the oil is hot enough, we can check by placing a bread cup in it to see if it bubbles up quickly. We may carefully add the milanesa to the pan. It's important to place it slowly to avoid splattering and to make sure it's placed evenly in the pan. We should let the milanesa cook on one side without moving it, so the coating can sit and get crispy. We could check it's golden by gently lifting it with spatula. We should wait for the golden color before turning it over. As the milanesa cooks, we might need to turn it a few times to make sure both sides turn perfectly golden. We must be careful not to overcook it, as that could dry out the meat and make the coating lose its crunchiness. Once the milanesa is golden and crispy on the outside and fully cooked inside, we may carefully take it out of the pan with a spatula. After taking it out, we might place it on a paper towel or rack to let any extra oil drain off.